At the center of Sweden, the Queen Old Town, Stockholm. Hello and welcome to Z. Don't forget to subscribe and click the bell icon. Let's travel to Sweden and feel the beauty of Stockholm together. Stockholm. Stockholm is Sweden's capital and largest city, as well as the largest metropolitan area in Scandinavia. The municipality has a population of 980,000 people, with 1.6 million in the urban area and 2.4 million in the metropolitan area. The city is spread across 14 islands where Lake Mälaren meets the Baltic Sea. The Stockholm archipelago is located to the east and along the coast of the city. The region has been inhabited since the Stone Age and the 6th millennium BC and was established as a city in 1252 by Swedish statesman Birger Jarl. It also serves as the county seat of Stockholm County. For hundreds of years, Stockholm was also the capital of Finland, Finnish, Tukholma, which was then a part of Sweden. The municipality of Stockholm's population is expected to reach 1 million by 2022. Stockholm is Sweden's cultural, media, political, and economic center. The Stockholm region alone accounts for more than a third of the country's GDP and is one of Europe's top 10 regions in terms of GDP per capita. It is the largest city in Scandinavia and the primary location for corporate headquarters in the Nordic region. It is classified as an Alpha Global city. Some of Europe's top universities, including the Karolinska Institute, Stockholm School of Economics, KTH Royal Institute of Technology, and Stockholm University, are located in the city. The Stockholm Concert Hall and Stockholm City Hall host the annual Nobel Prize ceremonies and banquet. The Vasa Museum, one of the city's most prized museums, is Scandinavia's most visited non-art museum. The Stockholm Metro, which opened in 1950, is well known for the decor of its stations. It has been dubbed the world's longest art gallery. Sweden's national football stadium is in Solna, north of the city center. The national indoor arena, Avicii Arena, is located in the city's southern outskirts. The city hosted the 1912 Summer Olympics. Stockholm is the official residence of the Swedish monarch and the Prime Minister, as well as the seat of the Swedish government and most of its agencies, including the highest courts and the judiciary. The Rosenbad building houses the government, the Parliament House houses the Riksdag, Swedish Parliament, and Sager House houses the Prime Minister. Stockholm Palace serves as the Swedish monarch's official residence and primary workplace, while Drottningholm Palace in neighboring Eckerö serves as the royal family's private residence. Stockholm grew rapidly in the mid-17th century, when Sweden briefly became a great power. The city became an independent administrative unit after the central government departments were relocated there. The old city walls were demolished, and new neighborhoods sprouted up north and south of the city between the bridges. Fires destroyed large parts of the city in the 18th century, and stone buildings were built to replace the old wooden houses. Stockholm had by that time become Sweden's cultural capital, and many of its literary societies and scientific academies date from this period. With the introduction of municipally organized cleaning, 1859, and sanitation, 1861, a new period of development began in the 19th century, contributing to a rapid increase in population. During this time, the medieval city nucleus was redeveloped, buildings were reconstructed, boulevards, avenues, and parks were laid out, and many of the city's current schools, museums, libraries, and hospitals were built. Suburbs and satellite towns sprang up as a result. The original nucleus of the city is Gamla Stan, Old Town, which consists of Stads Island, Helgens Island, and Riddar Island. The majority of the structures in this area date from the 16th and 17th centuries. This well-preserved city nucleus, with its original network of streets and many Middle Ages-era buildings, is legally protected from change. The Royal Palace, Storkirken, also known as the Cathedral or Church of St. Nicholas, the German Church, the House of Lords, the government offices, the Stock Exchange, and a number of other notable buildings are located on Stads Island. The Ridderholm Church dominates Riddar Island. Helgens Island is home to the House of Parliament and the National Bank. These islands are linked to city districts on the mainlands of Uppland to the north and Sodermanland to the south by old bridges and modern overpasses. Norrmalm, Vasastaden, Sturmalm, Kungsholmen, and Stadshaugen are the major northern districts. Norrmalm is a modern shopping, business, and financial district, whereas Kungsholmen is home to the City Hall and other municipal buildings. Stockholm's history. Stockholm in the morning. Stockholm's great city began in the 13th century. At the time, trade and commerce were expanding throughout Europe, and many new towns were established. Birger Jarl, the regent of Sweden, founded Stockholm in 1252. The new town expanded quickly. It was described as the largest place in Sweden in 1289, though it appears to us to be quite small. Stockholm was a thriving town of about 6,000 people by 1500. The Stockholm bloodbath occurred in 1520. In 1519, the King of Denmark invaded Sweden. In 1520, he captured Stockholm and executed over 80 Swedish nobles for heresy. However, in 1523, the Swede Gustav Vasa recaptured Stockholm. Sweden was a major European power in the 17th century. Stockholm grew rapidly and had a population of around 50,000 by the end of the century. The House of Nobility, Riddarhuset, was built between 1641 and 1674. However, in 1710 to 1711, there was a plague outbreak in Stockholm that killed many people. Nonetheless, Stockholm recovered and thrived during the 18th century. Tolgarn Palace was constructed around 1720. The Royal Palace first opened its doors in 1754. In 1799, the obelisk was built. The statue of King Gustav III was also sculpted in 1799. Stockholm today. Sweden was transformed from an agricultural to an industrial society in the late 19th century. Stockholm had a population of 93,000 in 1850, and it continued to grow rapidly. It had reached 300,000 by the turn of the 20th century. However, Stockholm was a dangerous place in the mid-19th century. There were no sewage systems or piped water supplies. But everything changed. In 1853, Stockholm received gas lighting. A piped water supply was established in the 1860s. The National Museum was established in 1866. The Stockholm Central Railway Station was constructed in 1871. Trams drawn by horses first appeared in Stockholm in 1877. In 1901, the first electric trams were introduced. In the meantime, Stockholm University was established in 1877. The Swedish Army Museum first opened its doors in 1879. Skansen Open Air Museum first opened its doors in 1891. The Biological Museum first opened its doors in 1893. The Stockholm Music Museum was established in 1899. Stockholm thrived throughout the 20th century. The Postal Museum first opened in 1906 and the Nordic Museum in 1907. The Museum of National Antiquities first opened its doors in 1943. Meanwhile, Parliament House was constructed in 1905 and City Hall was constructed in 1923. Stockholm escaped bombing damage during World War II, but in the mid-20th century, a program to modernize the city began. Many old Stockholm homes were demolished and replaced with new ones. Tourism is now a significant industry in Stockholm. The Museum of Dance first opened its doors in 1953. The Medieval Museum first opened its doors in 1986. The Vasa, a ship, sank in 1628 but was recovered in 1961 and is now on display in a museum. The 10 most interesting facts about Stockholm. 1. The first national city park in the world. Ulriksdal, Haga, Brunnsviken, and Djurgården are part of the world's first national city park, which includes museums, entertainment, 4 palaces, and Stockholm University. What makes it even more unique is that it is located right in the heart of the city. 2. The world's largest hemispherical structure. The world's largest hemispherical building, the Ericsson Globe, is located just south of Stockholm's Södermalm district. It has a diameter of 110 meters, a volume of 605,000 cubic meters, and an inner height of 85 meters. It can be seen from almost anywhere in Stockholm. 3. What is the meaning of a name? The name Stockholm first appears in print in 1252, when Swedish statesman Birger Jarl used it in a letter. 4. Stockholm Syndrome. One of Sweden's most famous crimes inspired the term Stockholm Syndrome. During the 6-day Norrmalmstorg bank siege in 1973, hostages began to identify with their captors. The enormous charm of career criminal Clark Olofsson is thought to be a major factor in this happening. 5. A large number of cyclists. Every day, over 70,000 Stockholmers ride their bikes. Even better, there are dedicated bike lanes throughout the city, and collisions between cyclists and cars are rare. Sites of international importance. 3 UNESCO World Heritage Sites are located in Stockholm: the Royal Palace at Drottningholm, Skogskyrkan, the Woodland Cemetery, and the Birka Archaeological Site. 7. Pure water. Stockholm is made up of 14 islands linked by 57 bridges, and the water is so clean that you can drink it, swim in it, and even fish in it. There are a lot of museums. Stockholm has more museums per capita than almost anywhere else in the world, with nearly 100. The National Museum alone houses nearly 50,000 paintings and objects, and many museums are free or offer free days. 9. The legendary visit of Frank Zappa. Swedes adore Frank Zappa, and one fan got the ultimate Zappa bragging story in 1971. During a break in Zappa's performance at Concerthuset, 2 fans approached him and asked him to come to their house after the show and wake up their brother Hannes. Zappa thought it was a brilliant idea. He returned home with the fans, entered Hannes' bedroom, and exclaimed, "Hannes! Hannes! Get up! Frank Zappa here!" The parents and Hannes awoke, and everyone sat up until dawn talking. The narrowest street in the world. Martin Grand, which is only 90 centimeters wide, is the tiniest of Gamla Stan's cobblestone streets. It's also a steep, albeit short, hill with 36 steps from top to bottom. Thank you for being with us. Don't forget to subscribe.